Hey guys, Jesse here from King Domes. Just gonna talk to you about how we put our chimney plate on. So the chimney plate, my recommendation is putting it on after the cover, before the insulation. So that's, it's unobstructed. There's no issues with having to try and get under the insulation to install it. I did this one by myself, so it's hard to hold a camera and also install the chimney plate, so I'll just walk through the steps. So the way to start, the bars that go with the chimney plate are specific to the chimney plate, and by that I mean that they have holes specific for the chimney plate. 1, 2, and 3 there. That's just to stop it sort of sagging in, I guess, in its own right. I know it's a steel plate, and I think it's 4mm thick from memory. Well, it is 4mm. I don't think it is from memory. It definitely is 4mm. So you just don't want it to sag down, because if it's really high wind, it might rattle slightly, and obviously you don't want that. So nice and tight. And anyway, so to install a chimney plate, I recommend hanging it from the top to start with. You are not removing the nut that is putting the frame together. That will actually get sandwiched in, because how the ends of our bars are crimped, that basically acts as a spacer so that you get a nice flush end there. So you hang it off the top, it will then just hang, and then from there, this bolt here, you want to loosen the nuts for. I'd also recommend, before the cover gets on, these ones here, this one, and this one, put the bolts in first before the cover goes on, because once that cover goes on, trying to feed these bolts through here, it is possible, massive pain in the ass. So just get them in, leave them there, just put a nut and washer on it, nice and easy. You can walk away from it, get the cover on. It's not going to snag on the cover, which is great, and then life's a lot easier for you. So as I mentioned, you want to loosen this nut here, and then same on the bottom right hand corner. That is just so that this bolt, and then obviously the other bolt, has a bit of flex and play, so that you can feed the hole that the chimney plate has. Sorry, you're not feeding the hole, you're feeding the bolt through that hole, and then you just get a wrench and get in there and tighten that one up. So start with the top one, then go left or right, either, personal preference, it's up to you guys. And then from there, you just grab another nut and washer and just tighten that one off there. These bolts, as we've said, get them in first before the cover goes on. They should just feed straight through, no real issues there. And then you just come behind, tighten the rear one, then you tighten even just put the nut on so that it's not falling off, but you don't have to tighten this one, because if you tighten this one, it's getting harder to tighten this one, because you're closing the gap, especially with the angle. Trying to get your wrench in there is going to be a bit of a tedious process. So that's pretty much how you put the chimney plate in. It's pretty hard to see, but the cover comes pre-holed for the chimney plate. As you can see, there's a bit of a lip there that will then pierce through. It's never 100% accurate. It is just a guide, just to show you where the chimney plate is going. That seals anyway when you install the flashing. You can see these holes here. They are for, I should have got this one ready already, but I didn't. So great stuff. That is for these clamps. These will go, just pretend that we're on the outside for the sake of this demonstration. These will just go on the outside, clamp them down. So you have a back end that's just a foam, that's just to help with the waterproofing capabilities by pressure closing the gap in. So from the outside, it's going to look like coming in that way, but you're going to be looking at it as such. The bolt will then feed from the outside in to then seal that off. I recommend putting this one over the flashing that you're doing on the outside, because then that entire section is now sealed. And then you go through, there's your hole there. And as I mentioned, the cover never lines up, so you just grab a Stanley knife, make sure it's a brand new blade. Because you are doing final trim on the cover, you do not want that blade to slip because of slight imperfections in that blade, and then running a line unnecessarily long and then having to patch it. So yeah, that's pretty much how you install a chimney plate. Nice and easy.